Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maureen of Middle East Edibles and Services, and today I want to show you again how I make my calabash for traditional wedding cakes. I have a video on this previously, but this is like an updated version of how I make my calabash. So the first thing I do is to bake my cake in two different calabash pan. I also have a video of this, of the pans that I use for my calabash cake. You can go to the market and ask them for a football pan or a calabash pan, and they are going to give that to you. So after baking the cake, I go ahead to trim off the bulgy part of the cake, and then with my buttercream I join the two cakes together. And most importantly, don't forget that you have to put skewers in between your layered cakes to ensure that they don't drift apart. After putting skewers in between my cake, you can see that there are some parts that need a little filling. So I go ahead to use my cake crumbs, not the soggy part of the crumbs. By soggy part, I mean not the wet part of the cake crumbs. The part of the cake crumbs that is a bit solid, I go ahead to use it to fill, just because when I cover my cake, I don't want to have any space in between the cake. I'm also going to use crumb coat to make this to be strong. After that, I crumb coat my cake. After crumb coating my cake, I go ahead to roll a very wide, round shaped flat fondant, and then I use it to cover the cake using the blanket method. You can use a paneling method to cover calabash cake. So I go ahead to use this rolled fondant to cover the cake, and I ensure that I do not have foldings in any part of this fondant. So this is me making sure that it is neatly covered and there is no folding or any form of joining in between the covering of the cake. So while I'm doing this, I have a quick question. Have you covered a calabash cake before? How was your experience? Were you able to get a perfect calabash covering? Did you have any struggles covering your calabash cake? Just let me know in the comment section so that we'll talk about it in subsequent videos. So I have just covered my cake using blanket method, and I ensure that there are no form of wrinkles. Then I'm going to properly cover this and make sure it gets to the bottom part of the cake. That's exactly what I'm doing here. While doing this, I'm also making sure that my fondant is properly lapping the body of the cake, because sometimes you cover cake and you find out that there are spaces in between the cake and the fondant is not lapping well, maybe because the crumb coat has already dried up or something. So I'm also doing this to make sure that the fondant is lapping the body of the cake. After this, I'll go ahead to clean my board, sprinkle corn flour on the board, and bring back my covered round cake to the board, ensuring that the board is well sprinkled with corn flour, so that my cake will not stick to the board. Because when your board is not dry enough or there is no corn flour on the board, the cake gets to stick to the board. So the next thing I'm going to do is to prepare the calabash neck, which is like the mouth part of the calabash. So I'll just knead my fondant properly and ensure that I add enough CMC to the fondant, so that the calabash neck is going to be very solid and it will dry up properly. So I've just added my corn flour to this and I'm kneading. After kneading and achieving a smooth fondant, I'll go ahead to roll it into this cylindrical shape, and then I'll start working on the calabash neck. To get the opening on the calabash mouth or calabash neck, I use my small candle rolling pin and I use it to make the opening. After that, I'll go ahead to ensure that the other part of the calabash is smooth, because my hand is working on it. If I don't make sure that it's smooth, it's going to have some form of wrinkles on it. So this is the calabash mouth or calabash neck. I don't know what exactly to call it. At this point, I'm done working on that part. I'm going to make sure that I give it a base whereby when I sit it on the round calabash cake, it's going to sit properly. Then I prepare my edible glue, apply edible glue to this bottom of the calabash neck, and then I fix it to the cake. But this is not all, because the calabash neck might fall off if not properly fixed. So I'm going to go ahead to use dowel rod to add it to the cake, serving as a pillar so that no matter what happens, it's not going to pull off from the cake. After adding the calabash neck to the cake, the next question is, do you want to leave your calabash smooth, or do you want to add some form of effect to it? You can add crimping effect to it. You can add bubble effect to it using bubble mold. You can add any form of effect to it. For this particular cake, my client asked for a bubble effect on her calabash. So using my bubble mold, I have just made the bubble designs and I'm attaching them to the cake. You might want to ask me what I rubbed on the cake before putting this bubble. I rubbed edible glue on the cake, and my recipe for edible glue is water and CMC with no particular measurement, depending on how plenty I want my edible glue to be. So I add few pinch of CMC to water and I mix properly using a brush, and then I use the brush to apply it to the body of the cake or whatever I want to attach to the cake. When making your edible glue, you also have to be careful and know the right consistency for it. So there's a particular consistency for edible glue. I'm going to make a video and post it tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning, so that you understand the right consistency for edible glue. So once I do that, I'm going to put the link to how I prepare my edible glue in the description box. So this is me trying to put the bubble effect all around the cake. Ignore the colors in my hand. I'm working on a traditional wedding cake, and I have to play around with different colors. I had just finished preparing the garden eggs, and having green color in my hands is inevitable. So this is the calabash with bubble effects all around it. Then the calabash has to be gold in color. This is not like a do or die. Some clients want their calabash with wood color, which is brown. Some clients would want their calabash to be gold. So depending on what your client wants, but if it's going to be brown in color, then there's a particular kind of design that I use for it. So I'm trying to paint my calabash gold using my spray. You can use spray bottle, you can use this spray pump. So I'm using my spray pump. If you do not have a spray bottle or spray pump, not to worry, you can also use your brush to paint your calabash. Just simply dissolve your gold dust in edible spirit and go ahead to paint. So I'm going to do this all around the cake. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you got to this point this video, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, I want to beg you, do like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just like this video you've watched, I have so many educating contents that will be really valuable to you as a baker, as a food business person, and as someone that loves creativity. So do well to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be glad and I'll be happy. God bless you. You might want to ask certain questions. My comment section is open. Do well to ask your questions and I won't take long to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. Let me remind you again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and invite your friends, share this link with them, invite them to also subscribe, tell them that there's a channel where you watch valuable content and they would like to be part of it. So this is our calabash. If you want to add the palm wine that is pouring out, you have to use your meshy fondant to achieve that. So this is the cake, this is the cake, final result of the cake. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.